Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered, where did all my money go? Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're not working hard, but just because money has a way of disappearing when we're living on autopilot. And that's the real issue. For most people, it's not income, it's not having a budget. The real problem is that we just tend to spend unconsciously. We're reacting, we're clicking, we're swiping, we're inundated with marketing messages in email, social media, text message. We're making emotional decisions with our money, and then our egos are justifying and compromising to make it make logical sense, even though we're making an impulsive decision. And then we're left wondering why we don't even feel in control of our own money. So in this video, I want to give you 3 practical tips that I use myself to become more conscious and aware of my spending. These aren't complicated, they're not extreme, and you don't have to be any type of spreadsheet guru to put these into practice today. It's just 3 simple steps that help you become more aware, more intentional, and more aligned with how. But first, real quick, if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean Shakarami. I'm a CPA living in Naples, Florida, and I work for a leading financial advisory firm here. And I help business owners, families, and high performers grow, protect, and pass down their wealth. And if you like the content I'm putting out, please drop a comment and make sure to hit that subscribe button today. Oh, and share this with somebody who could use it too. So step number 1, it's probably not what you think. It's not creating a budget. Step number 1 is just taking inventory. We're gonna observing everything. And this is really important. Do not suddenly become ultra disciplined for 30 days just to prove a point that you can do something. This will just create a fake version of your financial life, and it won't lead to the change that you really need. Instead, just use this first month to let truth reveal itself. And here's the key. It's simple, but not as easy as it seems. For every transaction, I just want you to be aware. Just become aware of what you're spending, what you're purchasing, and what's the why behind it. No judgment either. So every time you make a transaction, pause and ask yourself a few questions. Just pause and ask, why am I buying this? Is this a need, a convenience, a reward? Is it an impulse? Is this a habit that I have ingrained? Maybe like a daily coffee? Am I making the purchase to relieve stress, or am I just bored? Then at the end of each day, I want you to journal. I want you to journal about the purchases that you made that day and the why behind them. And then a pro tip is to come back a few days later and see if the purchase actually led to the why behind it. So for example, if you're making a purchase for a reward and you're expecting some type of satisfaction or fulfillment from it, come back a couple days or a week later and write down, did this thing or whatever I purchased, did it actually bring me the reward I was seeking? And this is very important. We don't want to just write down what we bought and the amount. We want to write down why. Because this is going to help you become more aware of what's happening deep down internally that is driving you to make certain decisions in your financial. Because mindful money is really not about math. It's about intention, behavior, emotion. And as we write these things out, it becomes pattern recognition. And then it's only at the end of this full month that now I want you to sit down and do your budget. I want you to take a list from your bank account, from your credit card statements, wherever you're consummating these transactions. It's very easy to do now. Just export them to a spreadsheet or use a simple budget app. And I want you to categorize everything to see what you're spending on housing, food, subscriptions, entertainment, automobiles and vehicles, self-care, shopping, travel, kids, debt, savings, investing. Categorize it into all these specific buckets, and then separate all the categories into 2 main buckets: fixed expenses and discretionary expenses. So your fixed expenses are going to be things that you have way less control over. Things like housing expense, insurance, minimum payments on credit cards, etc. And then you're going to have a bucket of discretionary expenses. And these expenses are going to be things that you have much more control over. These are things like going out, eating, and entertaining. And once you've done that, I want you to look over every line item in each category and look at the amounts and just ask yourself one powerful question. Am I happy with how I'm spending my money? And remember, there are a lot of financial rules of thumb out there, but this isn't about any of them. This is a very personal question. It doesn't matter what anyone else says you should be spending. It doesn't matter what any other financial gurus are saying. It's not at all about what looks good to anybody else. Just you, judgment free. What do you think? Are these numbers aligned with your goals, your values, your season of life, your priorities? And for each category, if the answer is no, write the word no, and then write down the number that you would like it to be for it to be aligned to your goals, values, and priorities. And now you have a real budget that reflects you and your goals, and you've opened up the awareness and the space to actually make sustainable, long-lasting changes in how you spend. Not with guilt, but with total clarity and intrinsic motivation. Because you can't change what you're not willing to see. Tip number 2 is my favorite. Once that budget is created, I want you to create what I call a money mission map. And the total idea is that every dollar should have a mission attached to it. This dollar is for groceries. This dollar is for housing. This dollar is for childcare. This dollar is for saving. This dollar is for investing. This dollar is for giving. This dollar is for self-care. This dollar is for entertainment. This dollar is for family vacation. Whatever the case may be, map out each dollar to where you want them to go. Not where they went historically, but where you want them to go moving forward. So now we're moving from a budget, which is looking at the past, into looking at projections and visualizing our financial future with authority and control over the dollar. Because when money doesn't have a mission, that's when things tend to wander and go off track. And when money wanders, it tends to disappear into whatever feels urgent in the moment. I know I've been there. And this is exactly why so many people feel like they make good money, but can never gain traction and control over their spending and financial futures. The money mission map changes that, because it puts you back in the driver's seat of your dollars. And that shift really does matter. Because when you tell money where it's going before life starts pulling you in other directions, you become way more intentional. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you not to have fun. This exercise actually makes fun spending even better and more rewarding. Because now your fun money has a mission with it too. And you can start planning for things and experiences that you can look forward to, that you know are going to bring you that internal sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Because it's not random, it's not guilt-driven, it's not impulsive, and you know it's not at the expense of sabotaging your bigger goals. It's planned, purposeful, and enjoyed. That's the difference. Mindful money is not about being restricted. It's actually about being aligned, and through that alignment, we can become even more abundant in all aspects of our life. And now that you've taken inventory, made the budget along with the money mission map, the last step is to create boundaries to make the plan real. And how I do that is I use a modern day version of the envelope system. If you've ever followed people like Dave Ramsey, they talk about envelopes. And in their system, you take an envelope, you write what the envelope is for, say like mortgage payment, car payment, credit card payment, and you put the exact amount of cash in that envelope that you're going to need or spend on that specific category. And I know people today who still use that envelope system, and if you have a lifestyle in which cash is easier to use, go ahead and use that envelope system. You can have one envelope for groceries, one envelope for entertainment, one envelope for saving, etc. All I've done is taken that system and modernized it a little bit, because I know that some things I really can't pay with cash. And so the idea here is to use that same method, but just with prepaid credit cards or prepaid debit cards. So let's say you do your inventory, you do your budget. This is something really common, and that you spend over $500 a month on Uber Eats and DoorDash. And it's not because anyone told you to, but you just know that you're overspending in that category, and say you just want to eat healthier. And so you write a number down that's maybe $200. Because we know that life happens and you may still want to order in. So what you do is get a prepaid debit card or reloadable credit card, put $200 on it, and use that specifically for your DoorDash, Uber Eats, food delivery. But here's the key. Once that $200 has been spent, that's it. You now need to go to the end of the month and not order DoorDash or Uber Eats. Because now when it's gone, there's no mental gymnastics, there's no justifying, there's no compromising, there's no moving the line. You've already drawn the line in the sand and decided not to go past it. The beauty of this system, whether you're using envelopes or prepaid debit cards, is that it creates friction. And it's that friction that is the powerful boundary. And friction is powerful. Because overspending happens just when spending is too easy. And trust me, our society has set it up to make spending extremely easy. Today, if you have a smartphone, spending is as easy as just double-clicking a button and letting your phone scan your face. But when you create this friction and create these boundaries around these spending categories, you become more conscious and aware of where each dollar is going. And when certain impulses come up, you start asking yourself different questions. Do I really want to use part of my budget? Do I really want to use part of my card on this? Is it really worth it? Or should I wait till later in the month when it might make more sense? This is mindfulness in action. You're no longer just spending, you're choosing, and choosing wisely. And that's a huge difference, just right. And lastly, just one pro tip. Whether or not you choose to use the envelope system for everything, use it for your subscriptions. I promise most of you will be very surprised how much money each month is just being auto-drafted from your bank account or on your credit card statement to subscriptions that you may not even use anymore. I see that all the time. So if you want to become more mindful of your money, here are the 3 steps. First month, take inventory of all your spending. Track what you spend and why, and classify each transaction into a specific category. Step 2, create a money mission map and give every dollar a specific purpose before it disappears. And number 3, use an envelope system. I prefer a modern day version of it. And this is to create friction and boundaries that help your behavior align with your real world goals. Here's the truth. You don't need more shame or guilt around your spending habits. You only need more awareness, more intention, and more structure. And remember, mindful money is not about perfection. If you mess up, just start over. No guilt, no shame. Because this is just about waking up, paying more attention, and just making sure your financial habits are building the life that you actually want to live. And if this video helped you, comment the word mindful below and tell me which tip hit you the hardest. And if you want more content like this on building, protecting, and becoming more mindful of your money, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And please share this with somebody who you know is working hard, but maybe feels like their money is slipping through the cracks. Because the goal shouldn't just be to make money. The goal should be to move your money with purpose.